The following feature presentation is part of the All for Sci-Fi Podcast Network.
I'm sorry, Dave. I'm afraid I can't do that.
If you only knew the power of the dark side, Obi-Wan never told you what happened to your father.
He told me enough. He told me you killed him.
No, I am your father. I'll be back.
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker. It's a trap! The needs of the many outweigh
the needs of the few.
for the one.
Do or do not. There is no try.
To infinity and beyond! Live long. And prosper.
Get away from her, you bitch! Wait a minute, Doc. Are you telling me you built a time machine? Out of a DeLorean?
Bye-bye, boys.
Have fun storming the castle.
Think of the way?
Goodbye.
Hello! My name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die. Stop saying that!
I see dead people.
So what? You said that.
Why so serious?
Stop volunteer! I volunteer! I volunteer as tribute.
What I do is not up to you.
Chewie. We're home.
I'm one with the Force. The Force is with me. I'm one with the Force, and the Force is with me. I'm one with the Force, and the Force is with me.
I'm one with the Force, and the Force is with me. Yes, indeed it is. Welcome to everybody to the All for Sci-Fi Weekly webcast. I'm your host, Eric Walker. Next to me is
Captain Rickster or Trickster.
Hey, guys, we're early today. Sorry about that. Sorry about the short notice as well. We didn't mean to be early today, but lots of stuff going on in our personal lives that makes us have to do this earlier. So we do apologize for that, but we're going to have a lot of fun today. We're going to talk about the first episode or two of Sweet Tooth because we have to watch it just came out yesterday. So we got to watch the rest of the season. So we're not going to give a review on the entire season of Sweet Tooth, which is on Netflix, by the way, season 2. But we're going to talk about the first couple episodes. We're also going to, like we mentioned last week, we're going to talk about the entire season of Shadow and Bone, and also Lockwood and Co., which both are on Netflix as well. So today, on today's show, all 3 of the sci-fi shows we're reviewing are on Netflix, which is great. And what are we doing this week, Captain Rickster? What for the unboxing? Oh, you want to show? You show one, I show one. In tribute to Star Wars Return of the Jedi, which opens for a limited time in theaters, we're going to do not just one, but we're going to do 2 unboxings today. This is Han Solo.
And I got Tebow.
He's got Tebow the Ewok. And the Han Solo's number 5. What is Tebow? Number
2.
Okay. And it's the Han Solo from Endor. And Tebow, of course, is from Endor, right? Because he's an Ewok. So we're doing 2 unboxings in tribute to Star Wars Return of the Jedi, which I encourage everybody to go out and see. If you've never seen Star Wars Return of the Jedi, because it came out in 1983, go see it in the movie theater. That the way it was meant to be seen. I know Mike went and saw it last night, by the way.
Oh, good.
I saw a post on Facebook. And Captain Rickster and I are going to try to go see it the next week because we want to remember what it felt like seeing it in the movie theater. In fact, Star Wars Return of the Jedi was my first Star Wars movie that I saw in the movie theaters. It's one of my favorites because it was my first.
I saw the original when it came out in 1977.
Okay. I was, for whatever reason, I was not an early movie goer. I didn't start going to see movies till I was about 10 or older than 10.
Well, in 77, you were just a little baby still.
No, I was still 7. I was old enough to go see a movie
Yeah.
like that. I hear stories from people that said they were 5, 6, and 7 years old my age. I was 7 when Star Wars: A New Hope came out, or the Star Wars 1, as we called it back then. It wasn't called A New Hope.
Not yet. It was later on it came to New Hope.
Later on, he started naming the chapters. But my first Star Wars movie, and I'll never forget it, was Return of the Jedi. And I'll never forget because the second the lights went down and that dun and Star Wars came on and you heard John Williams' theme, it was like the entire stadium, not stadium. It felt like stadium. It felt like you were in a stadium because it was like the entire theater stood up and started cheering.
Oh yeah,
and with clapping.
Mm-hmm.
And I go, what the heck's going on here? The movie just started and they're standing and clapping. What's going on? And the energy was so incredible. Every moment of the movie, people clapping and cheering and rooting on Princess Leia, Han Solo, and trying to figure out what these Ewoks were. Who would have known a year later I would be starring in a spinoff of Return of the Jedi, the very first Star Wars spinoff, by the way.
Yep.
They tried to claim Mandalorian and now that was the first spinoff.
No,
Nope.
sorry, it was not.
Caravan of Courage.
Yep.
George was doing it back then, and they were labor of loves. They were movies that were made for his daughter. So, Amanda Lucas.
It's just too bad it took him 6 years to make in between from the first one to the second one. You know, because he did Star Wars in 77, and then in 83 he came back and did Return of the Jedi.
He doesn't know, guys. It takes 3 years to make each movie. So that's why.
At that rate, yes.
No, it takes 3 years. So they were actually filming Empire Strikes Back. It came out in 81, but they started filming it in like 79. And they started filming actually Return of the Jedi. They came out in 83. They started filming in 81. Because if you remember, Warwick is my age.
Of course.
And they started filming when he was 11 years old, which would have been in 81.
81, yeah.
So, and sometimes they say 12. I think he was filming when he was 12 too. And we did the Ewok movies. He was 14 and I was 14. We're the same age, 3 days apart. I'm 3 days older than Warwick Davis. We have almost the same birthday. So, okay.
Where's that chap at? He's never on our podcast.
We need to. It's been a long time since I've spoken to Warwick Davis. I mean, I've actually had more messages, exchanged messages, and said hi to his wife online than him. And yeah, we're due for a chat. It's been a while. Hopefully, when we go to London, and I can meet up with him in July. Hopefully, he'll go to the London Film and Comic-Con. I don't know if Jason is going to have him there or not, but it would be great. It'd be like a mini Ewok reunion too if Warwick is there.
That's true.
Okay, so let's talk about what are we going to talk about first? I want to talk about Sweet Tooth.
Let's talk about Sweet Tooth. Yes,
okay,
I just saw those two.
Sweet Tooth is the newest thing. It's got a whole season of episodes out. I've watched the first couple episodes. Captain Rickster, I think, watched 1 or 2 as well.
Yep.
But we'll do a whole review next week on the entire season when we've had more time to watch it. We haven't had enough time because we just came out yesterday. But so far, let's give the official All for Sci-Fi rating of the first episode of Sweet Tooth. It gets an official All for Sci-Fi rating of 4.75 stars. What do you give it, Captain Rickster?
Yeah, I'll give it a 4.80.
4.80.
Yeah.
It's good. I like it.
It is good, really good.
It delves more in. This one seems a little bit less scary. The first episode, but the kids have been kidnapped. And they're like been put in at the zoo. That organization, the men, or whatever they call it, them have basically taken over and broke in and kicked the woman out who is helping people, the hybrids.
Mm-hmm.
And the kids went scrambling, and they all got caught, and they got put in a cage in the zoo. So of all places, and that other doctor's now a prisoner who they think could help. Figure out everything, what's going on with the virus, how did the virus happen, how did the hybrids come about as well. They're all connected apparently, and he's trying to figure that out. And his wife is infected, so he's trying to save his wife's life as well. So it's a very complicated, it's a very good story. The kids are doing a really great job. The hybrids, Sweet Tooth, that character. I don't want to get into too much to say that it was a pretty good episode. I gave it a good rating for a reason. It's good quality television. The music's good. The kids are doing a good job acting wise. The makeup and prosthetic effects are great
Yes, really,
as
yes, they
well.
are.
So it's definitely, they're putting the money on the screen there for sure. So it looks
Yes,
great
they are.
so far. Anything? What is your favorite part of any of the Sweet Tooth that you've seen so far? What's your favorite scene you've seen so far?
So far, I think when the kid went and talked to the doctor, when they hooked him up, and not hooked him up, but tied him up in that chair, and the doctor made him a promise and all that stuff.
Okay.
I thought that was pretty cool.
My favorite scene so far is my favorite moment so far is when the kid came back and he had the night light.
Oh,
and
yeah.
he gave it to the turtle boy, and the turtle boy started speaking and singing that he was a friend of his.
Mhm.
That moment was my favorite moment when the turtle kid was singing, "You're a friend of mine. Dun, 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 you're a friend of mine." He was like singing that song.
he was.
And we found out that his parents played songs
Mhm.
for him. That was a nice moment.
Yeah,
You
it
know,
was.
he's already helping protect his own. You know, it's obvious that Sweet Tooth is a very caring, good kid.
Oh, yes.
And it shines. And a kid, I don't know how old the kid is. He
10.
says he's 10.
They say he's 10.
He says he's 10, but he's older than 10, Captain
Well,
Richter.
of course.
But I'd like somebody, if they could let us know, maybe put it in the comments if they know how old they think the kid is. Also, I don't know how many people are going to join us because we're coming on earlier, but so far that's my favorite part. That's Captain Richter's favorite part. We got to watch the whole season. So next week, guys, watch Sweet Tooth. Watch the entire season because we're going to talk about it next week.
Mhm.
So don't forget to get out of there. Captain Richter's really, you know, he needs to just get off the channel and like blow his nose or cough or whatever he needs to get it out of his system. Take a drink of water because he doesn't realize his mic is picking up everything.
Oh, I know it is. I just trying to do it softly so no one.
I know you're doing. I know you need to do this before we go online. I'm going to try to remind you next week.
The problem is though, is even if I do it before I go online, it's going to happen anyway.
No, it's not. No, it's not. A couple times when you've drinking something and blew your nose and coughed up the phlegm, it will last for a little while, Captain Rickster. I'm going to remind you next week. So, and if it's too worse, then just get up. I'll turn your camera off, and you can go do that real quick.
I want you to do right now.
Okay, go ahead. I'll turn your camera off and hold on. Give me a second. Let me remove it. Anyway, here I am. He's behind me now. Yeah, I'll remind you next week, Captain Rickster, so that you could do that beforehand. I probably should have. So blow your nose, drink, cough it all up, and then take a drink of water. That will help. Okay. So far, this whole thing with Sweet Tooth is coming along really good. I'm excited to see the rest of the episodes, quite frankly, because it's really compelling so far. The second episode, they're basically the kids find out where the kids are, and the mother of all the children that was saving them is too busy trying to break in the middle of the daytime, and Big Man, who is Sweet Tooth's caretaker now and his friend, is telling her, I want to help you, but and by the way, she saved him. We thought he was dead because at the end of last season he was shot, and we thought they killed him, but apparently they didn't. So she helped nurse him to Big Man to health, and I think that she'd do better if she listened to him. So where we left off in the episodes that we had seen, they try to break in real quick to get a scope of where the kids are at to find out what's going on, pretending to be workers. And then they get caught and they get chased after. Then they have to leave town because of all of it. In the second episode, I'd give that second episode probably about the same rating. Probably that episode 2 is probably a little bit better even. Maybe 4.80, not 4.70. So 4.7, 5, and 4.80 for the first 2 episodes of Sweet Tooth. We'll get into the other 2 episodes next week. Let's go ahead and do, while Captain Rickster is getting ready, let's go ahead and do an unboxing of the first figure here. It is from Return of the Jedi. It's Han Solo Endor. It's number 3, and this is the back. Let's go do it in one unboxing. And then after this, we'll go ahead and review Shadow and Bone, which is on Netflix, the entire second season. But it says here on Han Solo Endor. This is the Han Solo from Endor. Han Solo volunteered to lead the mission to destroy the new Death Star's shield generator. He and his strike team landed on the forest moon of Endor, where they encountered scout troopers and Ewoks. Okay, cool. So let's go ahead and open it. And as you know, at All for Sci-Fi on the toys, we have rating system as well. It's 0 to 5 stars. If it's 5 stars, then it gets the best rating for the toy. If it's three stars or less, we don't recommend purchasing the toy. Not this week, but next week, we're also going to review the new Jedi Survivor game with Cal Kestis. We're not going to review that this week because it just came out yesterday. But here you go. There's the Endor Han Solo. Boy, what a great character, Han Solo. Got this really nice. And by the way, this is a cloth cape. Wow. It's not vinyl. It's real soft. It's made out of cloth. And of course, he's got his great gun belt, his holster for his gun. Let's check the articulation. Pretty good. This is pretty good too. The legs, very good articulation on this figure. Of course, for his holster, he has his gun, which is here. Let me take it out. And while I'm taking that out, I'm gonna give this to Captain Rickster. Captain Rickster's back. Let's bring him back on a stream so he could look at it. What do you think of that Han Solo?
It looks great. I like it. I like the cloth.
I like it when they don't do vinyl on something like that.
This is cool. I like this one. Oh, yeah.
And this is, of course, Han Solo's blaster.
He even stands up great, too.
Yeah, no, he's great. So that's his blaster. You want to check it out. So as we said, we have a the rating system is 0 to 5 stars, 5 stars being the best. I'm going to give this Han Solo action figure, I'm going to give it 4.75 stars. Just a little under. I almost gave it 5 stars. The only reason why I didn't is because it only has one accessory.
Yeah.
But I almost gave it 5 stars because the cloth goods. But if it had one more accessory, who knows? Whatever. Maybe a knife or something he got from one of the Ewoks. That's what it looks like when he puts his holster on. His gun on his holster. But if it had one more accessory, I would have given this 5 stars. But 4.5 stars. What do you give it, Captain Rickster? Here you go.
Well, I like it. It's got great articulation. It has a good holster.
Mm-hmm.
It moves good. For an older one, it actually moves pretty good.
Yes.
Stands up good by itself. I give it a 4.80.
4.80. Okay, good. Really close in our ratings. A little bit different, but close. All right, let's move on to. We're not going to do that. We'll do that one later. We're going to move on. We'll do that in between the next one.
All right.
We're going to come back and do another unboxing in tribute to Return of the Jedi. We're going to unbox Tebow. But first, let's go ahead and give a review. Let's go ahead. What do you want to do next? You want to do Shadow and Bone? We're going to do this next.
Do Shadow and Bones next.
Okay, let's talk about Shadow and Bone. It's a Netflix show. This is season 2. Interesting. The first season was interesting. Is it based on any kind of comic book or anything, Captain Richard? Do you remember? Or I don't. I think you said it was. I don't know.
I think it is. Basically, it's a. I can't remember who put it out, but I know it's based off of a comic book series.
Okay. Well, the first season was quite captivating. I enjoyed it. I didn't like the fact that there was such a long wait between seasons.
Yes, that's
but
true.
Of course, that came out right before COVID or so there might have been a reason why it was such a gap in between with COVID shutting the whole world down. But of course, we have that Lady of Light or whatever they call her. she's still making it her mission to try to tear down that evil wall that separates the world from the rest of the world.
Mm-hmm.
And they're all on their adventures, and she meets this person who is the captain of this boat and also this flying vessel. And then later she finds out that he's actually a prince or something like that, or
Yeah.
and he's really like royalty, and he didn't pretend like he was this entire time. Oh, let's give the rating. At All for Sci-Fi, as you know, we have a rating system of 0 to 5 stars. 5 stars the best, 3 stars we don't recommend you stream it or go see it in the movie theater. Season 2 of Shadow and Bones, I'm gonna give it a strong 4.65 stars. If it was a really good show over the whole season overall, it gets a strong 4.65. What do you give it, Captain Extra?
I'm gonna give it a strong 4.75 because I
Yes.
really enjoyed it.
Yes,
I really did.
I'm being a little bit not as
You're being reserved.
reserved. I almost gave it that, but we're close. You
Yes.
can't get any closer than that. You know,
No.
4.65, 4.75.
It's not good enough
10
for a
per-
4.
10.
It's not good enough for a 5.0. But,
It's not, but it's
but
clo-
it
it's
is
good.
really it's really good. I mean, if you haven't sat down and watched it yet, you should. 'Cause
And it's very
it's enjoyable.
It's enjoyable, and it's what we love about sci-fi and fantasy-oriented type of stuff with great special effects involved, good acting. You love these characters. You feel bad that one character. She learns during the season that her best friend growing up is really related to all of this,
Mhm.
and he has to sacrifice himself in order for her to give her enough power to make this happen. So she's gonna lose her child, and then they found out that they loved each other too. They weren't
Yeah.
even though they're always just best friends, they really loved each other. So it's a heartbreaking story.
Yep, it is.
When you think about it and what they're going through, and then because she's so powerful, she's somehow with a heart renderer, and they have all these different levels of magic. Like they have a heart
yeah.
renderer, and they can control the different elements, almost like Airbender.
Yeah,
They can
almost.
control the elements and ice, wind, whatever, everything. And this she makes the heart renderer, but the heart renderer knows she did it.
Right.
She pulled him back from the other world. He died, so she could get that power to take down everything, and then she still reached into the other world and zapped him back.
Yep.
And he feels he doesn't feel like the same person. He feels like he shouldn't be there. It seemed like, and then it ended. But
Yeah.
quite a story. Well written,
Mm-hmm.
good. Doesn't try to throw everything in your face. It's not very woke centered.
But they left it open for a season 3,
Right.
so we'll see what happens.
I hope it does well. If it does,
Oh, yeah.
Netflix said they don't cancel anything that does well.
That's true.
That's what they said, but they can't seem to cancel everything that we like.
Yeah, I know.
And that does well.
And it really #1 stuff.
Yeah, it's
Like
silliness.
Wednesday.
They didn't cancel Wednesday. They have a second season of Wednesday, and they announced it was a global phenomenon. So they'd be going back on their word if they definitely canceled Wednesday, because that definitely was a global thing.
But who else did they cancel that we like?
They canceled a few that were pretty
good,
and did really well in the ratings. There was no
Mhm.
reason necessarily. They weren't maybe it wasn't #1.
No.
What they should have said
they
is
were in
we
the
don't
top
cancel
10 though.
#1 shows is what they should say.
It was in the top 10 at least.
Yeah, all the ones that they canceled,
Yeah.
they were very highly rated shows.
Yes, they
So
were.
that's why their statement was kind of puzzling and like, what? What
Yeah,
are
I
you
know,
talking
huh?
about? We don't cancel any shows that are hit shows. Really?
Yeah.
What you should have said is we don't cancel #1 shows.
That's it.
And if they canceled Wednesday, they would cancel a #1 show.
That's right.
By the way, so they can't cancel that one, at least not until the second season's up.
We'll see
But
what
I don't know
happens.
who's making decisions over at Netflix, because I like the fact that they're producing great content, but then they cancel it.
Well, they're saying they can't afford it because it's too much money for it to be processed into.
Oh,
into
come
a
on.
series.
Come on. They
I know,
have
that's what I said.
200 million people given a subscription for $20 a month. That's billions of dollars a month.
I know, but they don't.
And
see
they
it
don't
that way.
spend that. They're not. There's no way they're spending that much money on content. That's BS.
Let alone management. And
What they should stop doing is giving like stand-up people $50 million to do a stand-up special.
oh, well, that's true. Yes.
Or some crazy absurd thing I've been hearing about. They give
Mm-hmm.
people. I mean, they were giving some of the stand-up people the same deal they gave Adam Sandler. You know, it's like, but Adam Sandler's producing movies,
That's right.
so he deserves it. So I mean, it's not that, and I don't take what I said wrong. I'm not saying people don't deserve to get paid. Those comedians deserve to get paid, but do they deserve 50 or 75 million to do a stand-up special? No, I don't think so.
No, they can do a $5 or $10 million one and get it. Yeah, still produce
$1 million. Give me $1 million, and I'll make some people laugh. I'll do some crazy shit.
Oh yeah, so
give me $1 million. Hear me, Netflix. I doubt you'll hear this, but if you ever want to bring it on, I have a lot of content. I used to do stand-up. I could not only do a stand-up special. I have romantic comedies. I have other comedies that I've written. I wrote a comedy, by the way, Captain Rickster. That's, you remember the movie Mr. Mom?
Oh yeah,
and everybody loved that with Michael Keaton. Can you imagine another comedy like that same style, but it's called Uncle Mom? It's about an uncle that becomes the mother of all, because his sister dies and he has to take care of all her 9 children.
That would be interesting.
And the struggle he goes through as an uncle and all the darndest things those kids say, you know,
I know, yeah.
kids. It's laugh out loud, some of the comedy. I have prepared for that, but I have a movie called Uncle Mom that I could act in as the uncle, and that'd be really well received. So come bring it on, Netflix.
That's right.
Give me a development deal. I got plenty of sci-fi stuff too. The Timekeepers.
Oh yes,
which later Marvel. When I saw that, I had written something called The Timekeepers like 20-something years ago. I almost said, oh, shoot, they're stealing my idea, but it's different. The one with Loki and the Timekeepers, it's different.
Yeah.
Mine is different. It's not like Loki is. But when they called them Timekeepers, I go, damn it. They're like using my idea. But they didn't really use it. It was something different. So, okay, enough of this. But go and see Shadow and Bone.
Yes.
I think it's a great, great movie.
Let's be a TV show.
TV show / works like a movie. Let's do TiVo, guys.
Yep.
In tribute to Star Wars Return of the Jedi, the new release on the 40th anniversary. Here's our second unboxing. It's TiVo, the Ewok. And on the back it says TiVo, an Ewok scout. TiVo surrounded the Horn, summoning the Ewoks to fight stormtroopers during the Battle
of Endor.
Yep. Not the Battle for Endor, which is the sequel to our movie. It's different. Battle of Endor, but the Battle for Endor is a different movie.
Totally different one.
Speaking of that, shout out to Josh Durazio and his friend Liam. Some guy named Liam something wrote an article about the Ewok movies.
Oh, cool.
And Josh was at Order 66 put Eric Walker so I could read it. Liam, you did a great job. It's a great article, by the way. And you got it right. The Ewok movies were the first spinoffs, long before The Mandalorian and The Book of Boba Fett and Obi-Wan Kenobi. Here we go. TiVo. He's got a lot of accessories, though, TiVo. What's funny is this TiVo looks exactly like Logray in Caravan of Courage. It's like they made TiVo look like Logray, and then when they released TiVo, he still looks like Logray. So he's got that little horn. There's the horn he blows to summon the stormtroopers. His little Ewok horn. It's hard to see. Okay, let's check the articulation. Oh, he twists and turns. Maybe he could dance. Dun, 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 dun. What's that called when they do the twist? Do the twist. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, the articulation is incredible on this. A lot of movement. Wow. A lot of movement. Wow, what a great figure. All right, I'm going to bring out the accessories while Captain Rickster looks at it. He's got a spear that he throws, which is this one. Wow, look at that spear. Nice. He's also got a little axe that he could chop stuff. Little axe. Wow, that's nice.
Mm-hmm.
And he's got a knife, a little knife to cut things. There's 3 accessories. Let's see what else he has. Is there a 4th one? And I don't know what this is. Maybe it's something to put the knife in. Oh, yeah, you could put the knife in. He could put his little knife inside of there. A caterer's knife. But yeah, his knife probably could go in there. Let me see. And it probably attaches to him, to his belt or something. See, it has an attachment there. Probably attaches somewhere to it.
That's somewhere probably, yeah.
Trying to see. Yeah. Anyway. This is a lot of accessories. This is what I'm talking about. Have a few more accessories. He's got an axe. He's got a knife. He's got a spear to throw.
A knife holster.
Yeah, a holster to hold his knife. And he has a lot of articulation. He's got even his horn to summon the Ewoks to battle. So, you know what? Let's give the rating. At All for Sci-Fi, we have a rating system of 0 to 5 stars. I'm going to give Tebow 5 stars. I'm going to give Tebow 5 stars. And it's not because I'm biased because I worked with Ewoks, but because the articulation's great. Head, he's got the head thing. He's got the bullhorn. He's got 3 different accessories. So that's how you get 5 stars. Way to go, Hasbro. What do you give it, Captain Rickster? Let him look at it more.
I'm going to do the same. I'm going to give it the same. I'm going to give it a 5.0.
Look at this. He's got a spear to throw and kill somebody. He's got an axe to chop.
Oh yeah.
And let the logs go down and destroy those walkers.
Mm-hmm.
And he's got the knife and the thing to put his knife away. I mean, that's great. Okay,
That's
Tebow.
cool. Yeah.
Everybody, if you have not seen it, go out and see. Go out and see while it's still in theaters, because it's only a limited release. Go out and see Star Wars Return of the Jedi so you can see what everybody was crazy about in the 80s when we were growing up.
Oh, yes.
In case you were born later. Awesome. That's great.
That's great.
That's 2 unboxings today. That's awesome. All right, let's move into the last one. What is it, Captain Rickster?
Low-key.
Lockwood and Co.
Oh, Lockwood and Co.
It's not Lockheed. That's a different one. Lockheed is a different one. We're doing Lockwood and Co., which only has 1 season, and it's about it's in the future, and all the witches and the ghosts are coming, and somehow kids are able to kill them or get rid of the spirits and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
At All for Sci-Fi, we have a rating system of 0 to 5 stars. 5 stars is the best. 3 stars, we don't recommend it. The first season of Lockwood and Co. gets a 4.50 stars. What do you give it, Captain Rickster?
I'm going to agree with you on this one.
4.50. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. We get our violence back, everybody! Yay!
He loves violence, that's for sure.
Yeah!
Don't worry, he'll get it after the show.
Oh, that was funny. Okay, guys. Good show, good writing, good acting. It must have been produced in Britain because everybody has an accent, and it looks like they're in London most of the time. Love the whole idea, the whole premise. It's far into the future, and it talks about in the opening credits about how also the ghost phenomenon has been around for a long period of time, and it's just all exciting. It's basically what happens is it starts off with this and for some reason these teenagers or young adults they're the only ones that have the ability to get rid of the ghost or somehow get rid of the evil spirits wherever they're haunting or whatever they're doing. And it starts off with this a very talented lady who is, I think they call her like she could listen and hear ghosts and speak to them and help them, and like a medium. And she's with a group of people that she's working for, who she's employed with, and somehow they get trapped. And she goes out to get help, and the person who's their adult who's taking care of them runs off. He's too scared. And all her friends get possessed or messed up because it was something very evil. So there's a whole bunch of PR. She gets fired, and then she is looking for employment. And then she finds this small agency that says they're looking for people to help them. So she goes and applies for them, and the agency is called Lockwood and Company. And for some reason, this Lockwood and Co. they're still underneath some bigger authority, but even though he's young, he's been granted a license to be able to do this and run his own company. So they're trying to get business. As the episodes go along, you get to see how good they are, and there's another friend who helps as well. It does research on stuff and how to get rid of stuff, evil spirits, and they do their work, and then they find out that there's this mirror. I mean, it's very complicated, but it's very well written. I don't know if this is based on some sort of comic book or not.
I haven't. I didn't have a chance to look at the credits.
But it's not a lot of episodes. I think it's 8 episodes or something like that, or 10. And it's really worth viewing. We gave it 4.5 stars. It's not a 5-star, but if you want to have a night where you have nothing to watch, go watch Lockwood and Co. Get entertained. If you love sci-fi, you love stuff about ghosts, you love stuff about mystery, all the research they do, all that stuff's really interesting, and the effects are good. They're not they're not super high caliber, but they're good. They're passable.
Yeah, definitely passable.
Anything your favorite from that show?
No, nothing really. I mean, I enjoyed watching it. Yes, I enjoyed the special effects that were good. The music was good, but nothing really memorable.
I kind of like the fact that they pretend like they really romantically like each other.
True.
And they never act on it until the end. And I think that I can't wait to see a season 2 and maybe have them get more together as a couple.
Be good,
because she kind of finds out more and more about why this Lockwood is by himself and what happened, and it's just, and there's some intense moments where it kind of scares you a little bit with the ghost stuff, and I like that too. But it's not like a horror film stuff. It's kind of like suspense. It kind of scares you for a brief second.
Definitely suspense.
Yeah. So go watch it. I'm trying to see if there was something that was my favorite episode necessarily. It just in general, it's been a while since I've seen it, but we said we'd review it, so we did, because we hadn't reviewed it. I think it came out in January.
Yeah, it did.
So we're behind because we've been so busy with sci-fi stuff. We've been inundated this year with I'm a broken record saying it's the golden age of sci-fi and fantasy, and it really is. I mean, if we don't have time to review something from January, and we're doing it now at the end of April.
Yeah. I know.
You know, that's that we have way too much, and not that we have way too much, because I love sci-fi. That's why we are called All for Sci-Fi, right? It's not Star Wars, Star Trek, or other sci-fi stuff. It's about all of sci-fi. That's why we're All for Sci-Fi. So go watch Lockwood and Co.
Yes,
I recommend it.
Well, you'll enjoy it.
Anything else to leave everybody? Because we're going to end a little bit soon, because we have a lot of stuff we got to take care of next week. What are we doing, Captain Rick?
Next week we got the Guardian of the Galaxy is coming out.
Yes.
Plus, we're doing a one-day show. May the 4th.
Yeah, we're doing May the 4th. And that's another big announcement we need to make on May the 4th and Revenge of the 5th. We're going to be in Burbank at Blast from the Past Comics from 4 o'clock till 7 o'clock.
Yep.
Come on out and see me and 11 others. There's going to be 12 Star Wars actors in one place. It's in Burbank on Magnolia Boulevard, Blast from the Past Comics. Even if you can't make it on May 4th or May the 5th, we'll be there 4 to 7 at night.
Yep.
Send a friend, because we're going to have some unique stuff. I'm going to have some Star Wars Celebration pictures that are very rare that people could get. I'm going to have the original script from the Ewok movie that people could pick up still. I have some of those left. A lot of Star Wars actors, not just OG actors like myself. Stephen Constantino, my good friend. Mark Austin, my good friend. And Margot's going to be there, by the way.
Good.
Margot. Return of the Jedi just came out. Margot, who was one of the Ewoks, is going to be there. Some of the newer Star Wars actors from The Mandalorian and Book of Boba Fett are going to be there.
True. And
so
I'll be in the background somewhere.
But we'll also instead of our show on Saturday, which is May the 6th, we're going to be at VoltCon in Upland, California, with some Star Wars actors too, So we'll do our show. We're going to do a live show from there. We may interview some of the Star Wars actors while we're out there and let you have any questions for any of them. We'll do a live question and answer session with some of the Star Wars actors at VoltCon.
Yeah.
So next week's show, we're not going to talk about the latest stuff out. We're going to do kind of a live show from VoltCon. We may do a review of something, but we're going to probably hold off on Guardians of the Galaxy and Sweet Tooth and some other reviews until the next week after May the 6th. Right. So we're not back to normal weekly webcast is going to be on May 13th. We'll be back to normal at our normal time at 3:30. And that's when we'll review Guardians of the Galaxy. Although we may talk about it next week, even though we're live at the convention at VoltCon in Upland, which some trivia. Upland is my birthplace. So I'm going back to Cali. I'm going back to my birthplace, Upland, California. So maybe we'll do a trivia question and ask everybody what my birthplace is and see if you're paying attention. And you could get something free, maybe a signed autograph.
Who knows?
So make sure you tune in next week at our show so you can get some free prizes. Maybe I'll get a couple autographs for you guys too and give away from the actors. So make sure you're here next week so you could also ask any questions you have from some of these Star Wars actors. Have a great week, everybody. Remember, the Force is with us always.
Oh, yes.
Live long and prosper, as they say in Trekland. And, another big announcement is Star Trek Discovery. No, not Discovery. Star Trek Strange New World is coming out June 15th.
Right.
So we never made that announcement. Be nice to each other. Go out and do an act of kindness this week. Let's make the world a better place. God bless all of you and have a great week.
That's true. Well, you know what my saying is, have a great weekend. Enjoy the rest of your week. Come back safe so we can all have a good time for the next show. And then we can, laugh it up like we always do. But have a great week. See you guys later.
Yes. Say that again, Captain Dexter. I had the roar there.
Have a great week and goodbye for now.
All right, guys. Take care. God bless.